There we go. And there's Kimberly and George. And we're getting going. Yeah, Penny, Happy New Year to you too. So I do have people in Zoom. I have people in YouTube. And just in case you didn't know, you can pop over to jeffreytrader.com/YouTube and catch up. If you got to step away, the replay is instantly available. So, Happy New Year. This is the New Year's Eve celebration in downtown Knoxville. They dropped this silly little ball right here off of this giant big gold plated ball that we have downtown in a ditch. And they built this tower, this, I don't know, the World's Fair. This was the World's Fair site right here in 1982. I was like a few years old. They built this tower with a gold plated ball on top of it. It's supposed to be like the piece of the thing that you recognize in Knoxville. Was down in the low point. I mean, it's like, it's crazy. They built it at a low spot, so it doesn't even stick up above anything. And then they had this little shiny ball that they dropped off of the big ball, and it was goofy. Anyway, I didn't go down there. So yeah, let's have a wonderful 2023. Let's get started, shall we? As always, we have three big topics. We have Welcome to New Year. It's kind of a fizzle of a start, right? It looked like it was going to pop off, and then just red day. Kind of lame. And then we'll take your request as always. So, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess whoever donated the property donated down there, but it was kind of goofy to put it in the lowest point of Knoxville, whatever. I mean, might as well just put it down on the river. Anyway. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation right here is informational, educational, and fun. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument, which means if you need personal financial advice, go hire and consult a financial advisor, because that's not what I do. I'm here for entertainment value. And maybe, just maybe, I get some predictions right. So, jumping over S&P 500. Retracing, bouncing right back off the green box that we've been tracking for 3 weeks now. Come on, S&P. I mean, that candle looks like it should be green today, right? Like, not red. Like, gapped up, spiked up, looked like it was going to break out, and got crushed back down. So, more sideways, nowhere. I mean, this has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 79, 10, 11 days, 11 trading days in a row, sideways. Come on. Let me down. I am still bullish above this green box. The green box does go down to about 3650-ish, give or take. We may see a push down and a bounce off this 3720 area that I've been talking about for a couple weeks now. That is the 618 retrace of this whole entire move up from October through early December. And we kind of spiked it twice on the CPI print. And then crushed it out on the FOMC. So, I'm bullish, but I was hoping for a better start to the year, but we got what we got. It is what it is, right? We just kind of really took back the day. If we look at the futures, let's jump down to a smaller time frame here. On Friday, we got super crazy bullish right at the end of the day, like the last hour of the day. It went up. We opened on a gap up here, and then we started dropping immediately. We came down, bounced, ripped back up to a higher high, bounced back down, and then by the time the market opened, we were right around here. We kind of spiked up one more time, and then we played out this head and shoulders pattern perfectly right down here. Kind of went a little overzealous and then closed right at that point. That's just a 15-minute ES chart. It opened at 6 o'clock last night, if you didn't know. And that's the crazy fireworks that happened that led up into the retrace today. So, that was the long and the short of it. Small time frame pattern. When we zoom out, well, we're just kind of stuck in between some resistance overhead and some support below us on the ES. And this is the S&P 500's futures. If you're not familiar with what ES is, that's what it is. It trades 24, almost 24/7 5, I guess you would say. Opens at 6 p.m. on Sundays, closes at 5 p.m. on Fridays, and basically only stops for about an hour every day. But you notice there's no gaps in these candles, kind of like you see on S&P 500. You see these gaps, so that's why I use the futures. Just gives me a more complete picture, especially when you dive in deep. So it's the same thing as SPY. I mean, you want to load up SPY? Look right here. Same pattern, different thing. Prices just knock one off. I mean, that's basically what you do. Any number I talk about, just move the decimal one place. So when I say 3720, just 372. All right. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, moving on. Nasdaq. Still looking like it could reach down to a lower low. We have this spike right here that kind of made the low. And it sure looks like we could get one little push down. It only takes like 400 points to get there. It's not very far away. It'd clean up the count too. So we may see that. Be careful. May see one little push down, reset the count. When I talk about the count, this thing's been sloppy off the low here. Just for NASDAQ, S&P 500 is a lot cleaner and holding a lot higher support. It's not hanging out down here near the lows. But the NASDAQ is hanging out down here near the lows. And one little push down, this was kind of a 3-wave up, bounce off the roadmap line. Nice little push down to a lower low, reset everything, and then we'd be set to rip here at the new year. Russell still holding support. It was looking like it was going to break out also, and just fell victim to the chop. So not really much happened on either of those. Oil kind of getting a nice big fat pullback today, and that's only a 3-wave move up so far. Could retrace back to that mid-60s price that I was talking about. That 66 level down there. Now, how do you play oil? Well, you could play it with SCO, short oil. That one goes up when oil goes down. You could play it with puts on UCO. This one goes down. This is a leveraged instrument, so be careful. And when we break out of this line right here in a big way, then we've got some upside targets. And we're just waiting. It's not ready to break out yet, obviously. Could be any day now. Gasoline, still not breaking out. It was getting a breakout on Friday and slammed it right back down below that breakout line. Excuse me. Let me grab some water real quick. All right. So slammed it right back down on gasoline. Still looking for it to drop down below $2, but it did glance right off of that 202. That's close enough. Like, we could break out from here and go higher. Natural gas looks pretty horrible. Right down to the extension, right to the target. That can bounce there, or it can extend down to $3. That's what we got on natural gas at this point. And we're kind of holding the support from last December, January. It's right here. That's where we bottomed last year. So look for a turn in natural gas. Gold trying to break out. It was a bright spot today, up 1%. Still not convinced though. And then copper messing around sideways. All right, and lumber still at the lows. Nothing positive going on in lumber. And of course, with housing getting crushed by the interest rates, I'm not sure lumber is going anywhere for a little while. Yeah, natural gas is good for the heating cost, and kind of offsets that 17% tax increase for natural gas users. All right, I bet you didn't know that effective 1/1/2003 is part of the Inflation Reduction Act, a brand new 17% price hike on natural gas tax. Awesome, right? Alrighty, your requests. Yeah, not good. Mora bounced right off of the 312, I believe, or Yeah, 312. I had like a $3 and change target, and it bounced right off of that so far, just sitting there, sitting right on that fib line. It's not on this chart, it's on a different chart, but it's sitting right there. Boil is going down with natural gas. It's a leveraged natural gas play. Cold, the inverse, natural gas. And I'd be careful because it looks like it's bouncing right off of the roadmap line. Be careful. It can pop on through, but be careful. This is a decaying asset, so I would definitely be careful playing cold. All right. Race. Yeah, it bounced right off of the target there, pulling back. Looks like might need a little bit more retrace. So what it might do, I'm not 100% sure at this moment. This move right here, we may retrace about 50 to 60% of that. We might go to the 618. Draw the fib in there. Yeah, right there. Right where I put it. And then make another move down right here. And what we would do was copy this and place it right there and come down to there, about 200. That's what I would see on race right there. All right, QQQ I kind of talked about. Just divide mine NQ prices by 41. And then XLU. Yeah, not really going anywhere. That's stuck. Not great. Not positive, not negative. Plug, looking like it's going lower. A lot of these alternate green energy things all getting slammed here. In phase, SunPower, SPWR. Yeah, a lot of them getting slammed here. Right as we went into the new year. SBUX is not one that I've ever made money trading. Me and SBucks. It's like I got a few on my list that I just don't trade. Meta, Starbucks, Lululemon. Just not made money with those. Yeah, so be careful. There's resistance right here. I would definitely look for a break above that level before I was loading up. Now, if you're already long, watch out for a retrace back to the roadmap line. It's very faint on here. Zoom it up. It's right there. We can easily do that thing I was just talking about on race where we go that move. We just retraced some of the way back up. Almost to the 618, and then get another move down right like that, and look at that, it comes right out at the roadmap line. Probably something like that. Interesting, huh? All right, SLV. Yeah, it's the wrong color candle today, right? Like, I want that to be green, not red. Let's see, SL1. I think that was the wrong one. There we go. Yeah, maybe. It's got a resistance right here. It's got to work through. I think that's why it bounced down today. This needs, you see how it made a move up, a retrace, move up, needs that next retrace, move up, and a deeper retrace, and then it can finally break out. I mean, it could just break on out, but you see how it retraced right there, got near the roadmap line before it really took off. That's what I would expect. I mean, we kind of did that there, but it didn't really take off. It just kind of a bunch of overlapping crap. So be careful on that one. And let's see. AG. Yeah, it's just stuck right there, right on the roadmap line. Looks a little bearish. Could go lower. Be freaking careful. That's what I got. Are you still long on SPXL? Yeah, I bought more at 50 something, and my break even is 62, and I think that's where, like, when that at 62 today. Ah, come on. Keyboard being goofy. And 61.36 pushed down after the close. Yeah, so it's close to break even today. I added right there at 58.80, 58.90. And it's just right at break even. So I've only got 20 shares. So it's not like I'm break the bank or anything like that. 20 shares at $60. It's not a major position. So, all right, SQQQ. What do you want to know? I mean, it could break on higher if the S&P. I mean, if Nasdaq makes that lower low, this thing will probably make a spike up into the 64 area. It may not go higher because of the decaying nature of SQQQ. See these splits right here? It's 1 for 5 splits, and there's probably more back here. There's another one right there. This thing is a decaying asset. A lot of these ultra shorts decay, so even if you make a lower low on the index, you may not make a higher high. So be careful. This is not a long-term play. This would be a short-term play. All right, moving on. TLR1. Weed is a rough industry, and ACB going to 0, TLR1 going to 0. There's no barriers to entry. You could say, yeah, there are. There's, blah blah blah, but there's not really a barrier to entry. If you get a little license, you can basically be in this game. And there's no technology. There's no. I mean, you got your product, but it's all, like, from the consumer standpoint, it's all weed. And even though it's got a nice margin and stuff on it, you're competing with the black market that's been there for years and that can produce it with less regulation and cheaper. So I don't know. That's a rough one psychologically, and all the charts are horrible. So pins just stuck on the roadmap line. That can easily lead to a reversal, but we need a breakout higher than about 27 to go higher. I'd set your alert right up here if you're looking for something to go higher. Right up around 27. Get up through there, and then things can start turning around higher. But right now that's beat up, just like a lot of these other ones. Tech got murderized. Looks like they standardized profit. They don't make any money. And they don't make any money. Made a little bit of money. Made a little bit of money. Not making much money right now. So tech that hadn't made money, it's been getting beat down. So RCL. Let's zoom that one back up. Yeah, sitting right in the resistance. It's going to take a breakout above 90 for me to get excited about Oracle. All right, LAC. I was looking at that one earlier. Broke out of the triangle. Can definitely retrace lower. And the triangle here predicts that we would see a move basically down to this level right here. Back down to 12. Might be where we're heading. It's kind of sloppy, but roughly. Maybe more like 10. So be careful on LAC right there. Looks like it's going lower. Maybe puts might be a good idea. Chewy. And if I get my mouse to do the right thing. Yeah, this keyboard's being weird. Works half the time and half the time not. So, looks like a watermelon seed squeeze play. This thing's going to pop one way or the other. Got an uptrend right there. We've got a downtrend coming in right here. We run out of room somewhere over here. If it breaks down, so the likely move right here, just like I did on the last one, we either go down that much or we go up that much, wherever it breaks. The huge range. It could go down to 5, it could go up to 75. And I drew it out over there because likely it would do this before it broke out. All right, SPH looks pretty bearish to me. That looks pretty awful. I mean, it's got the same sort of deal going on. See a lot of that all over the place. So, BMO. Looks like she's going lower. Once, twice, 3 times. I mean, bounced, lower low, bounced, lower low, bounced, lower low. It's the pattern. Alrighty. Cover calls on XLU? I mean, you can do it. Just giving you what I see. MAS looks like it's going to go lower. Bounce, lower low, bounce, lower low, bounce. Till it breaks up higher. Till we make a higher high. Lower is the trend. AMD has the opportunity to bounce here. This is a... I was super hyped up on my crypto power plays this weekend because this thing retraced to the 618 and stopped. Now, what it's going to take is a breakout back up through, make a higher high than right over here, and this thing can go up quite largely. Now, I did add, for those that follow me in Discord, I did add a spread on AMD out to January 24, looking for a bullish move. And it was based on this right here. Let's move up and this retrace. And I know it's super tiny on the chart. Zoom it up right there. It was a move up and a retrace to the 618 and hold. And we just kind of been holding. Didn't break down. Haven't broke up. Got to break out through this roadmap line to be bullish. So I wasn't trying to knife catch. I was just trying to take an opportunity because it was chopping right here at my support. Alrighty. TEX. That was weird. I don't know what I hit to make it go to SPX. TEX. Yeah, that's in a pullback. Looks like it's going to pull back just a little bit more to right to that support right there. That would be consistent with that prior pullback, potentially. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Find support and move up. That last move up ran out to the 1618. So, and just a little better. So if you got that again, yeah, right in that, almost drew that perfect. So potentially a pullback to 38, and then a move up to 52, 49 to 52 area. That's the path right there as far as what I would expect. TJX. Looks like it's stalling out a little bit. Let's see, a longer term. What do we got? And that might reach up to right there, right around 83. And then pull back, possibly to here, possibly to here, before it can move on up to like that. All right, QQQ long. Well, I'll tell you right now, I would expect a lower low. Just based on all this crap, and we're so dang close. Like, a lower low is only like 10 points lower on the Qs. It could get there in a day on, like, if it made some of these moves like it did back here. It might do it on tech earnings. So be careful. That's coming up here in a couple weeks. Once it gets to the lower low and bounces, then we can finally start looking higher. And for those of you like these leverage thingies, TQQQ, that one can go up in a hurry. And that did a different kind of split. It wasn't a reverse split. That was the good kind of split. So, all right. Try it 5 times. Call in. 855-454-0816. Daniel. BMO. Did I do that one? Yeah, I did that one. Did pins. Yeah. I mean, if iron condors are what you like to do iron condors. I don't typically like to do them. You have to be below the risk and above the risk. And if you can make money with the $6 range there, that's great. If you're a bit more tactical at it, like you wait to sell the call spread when it's up here and you can get up higher, and then you wait to sell the put spread when it's down here and you get lower, that's great. But it does look sideways, and it's stuck right on the roadmap line for, what, 3 months? Just chopping. And I expect more of that chop. And Netflix looks like it's about to break out. Not quite the same. And Meta, well, it's just chopping at the low end here. This thing could be recovering. It's about to fill a gap it made down. Looks like it needs about 130, and then we'll see what happens. Like if it's got the gusto to break on up back into this consolidation area up here. Google just riding that trend line back down to the lows. Couldn't do this. Couldn't get that. Like that's what I was talking about just on Meta, and it couldn't do that. So Google just riding down. And Amazon farting around down here at the lows, at the support. And Tesla, how low can she go? She can go real low. We broke down below that support zone. The next one down is right over here that we just got to the top of. And it can break below that one. If it does, then it's probably going down to this one. And that's like ouch prices, right? 60, 24. Watch out, all right? Be careful. It doesn't have to be the most valuable company in the world. Elon Musk may get refocused and start putting a lot of energy and effort into it. You see that move right there, right? Look at this. Did it twice on 2 different scales. See what that one did. Hadn't even come back to Earth yet. Now, one thing I want to show you, if you go like this and you add there. You know what I put on the chart was the total value of crypto. You see, basically, from midsummer last year to now, they're on the same path here. And you can line them up a little different. Like if you want to go back to 2020, start of 2020, they both peaked about the same place, and they've both pulled back to about the same place. It's just a percent basis. So crypto and Tesla flowing about the same. That's a risk on, risk off asset right there. All right, X. And let's remove crypto off the chart. Yeah, it's working on it. Working on breaking higher. The charts to watch, like copper, and even though this is steel, like raw materials, like it's got to break out. Like it's got to break out above this. It kind of tried to, and then it got slammed down. So it's still got to break up above 31 to start getting to the prior high or an extension. So some of the things that are good looking though, CAT working on a breakout. Like if this can break on out, that's very positive for the economy. If we look at a larger time frame here, look, when we go through these consolidations, CAT tends to pull back into, it stops running, it kind of chops around and then pulls back into the financial crisis. Then it runs out of it, then it chops and pulls back into the next financial crisis. Then it runs and then it chops and pulls back into the next financial crisis or COVID lockdown. And then it runs and then it chops and pulls back into the next problem. And then it runs. So another one that does the same sort of thing, not exactly, but similar, is DE. So these are my two canaries to tell me when we're kind of looking like we might get some expansion. These guys make construction equipment and farm equipment and multi-million-dollar machines. And people, well, what I was trying to do is trying to zoom it up. People buy this sort of stuff and invest in it when things are looking positive. So if DE and CAT start breaking out higher, then that's a sign that the economy's turning, even though all the bad news is out there. Now these things are both moving up off the lows and sitting there near the highs. So to me, that's a strong indication that we're close to potentially breaking out. All right. Did Google, or didn't, let's see. There's Apple, right in the target zone. Next one down is down here. Looks like it could go to 122. And then potentially on down to this 110 to 107 area. All right, GOG. Yeah, just riding down. And you want to look at Google, like same, just sitting at the bottom. Not interesting. All right, HSY. Yeah, bouncing off of the roadmap line. Watch for it to hold support and start breaking back up. And that's a prior fib line. So this one, it made a higher high. And it's going to have to get above that consolidation it did right there. Delete that. It did this little thing right there. So it's got to get back above that to take any kind of run. Watch for it to hold support. Similar to what it did right here. Ran up to a new higher high. It's just a marginal higher high. This one may be just marginal, but it could reach out to an extension, especially if we get more broader support. LEV. Yeah, at the bottom. VIX. Nothing about that says bullish. I don't think. I'm not too concerned about this spiking off right now. It did return back to the point where I drew this arrow. It just went a little higher first. Had some increased volatility last year. We may or may not see more of that. It may just kind of chug along and drift back off. Historically, it hangs out around 20. For a long time, we saw 12 back here before 2020. Saw some, everybody's selling volatility, and we spiked up. Then we came into the rest around this $12 area. Then we spiked up. Then we back to 12, and we spike up big. And then we drifted back down to 16, and then got a bunch of chop in 2022. Talking about that, let's see, where is my... Let me pop up something really quickly if I can find it. One of these things is not like the others. Somebody was asking about Discord. Let me see if I can find the tab that has Discord. There it is. So check this out. Zoom it up. This is the seasonality of VIX right here. We are starting out typically, about the first week to 10 days, 5 to 10 trading days, we usually see a drop in volatility. And then we see a drastic spike in volatility. And then we drop back to kind of flat. And then we get a big spike into March. It kind of corresponds with March 2020. This is a 20-year average culminating in 2021. So it does not include 2022. And then we chill out as we go into May, sell in May, go away. Everything gets boring. And we pick back up in August. Get a little volatility into October. And then chill out into the end of the year. So that's kind of the overall plan, how it works on the yearly cycle. All right. And pop back over to the chart. FXI. Get the right. Yeah, it looks like it's stuck on the roadmap line right there. Stuck right there. Last time it's parked there, it dropped out, made a lower low. So watch for it to break down. If it can break out above 35, it's positive for FXI. If it breaks down, go lower low. All right. Snap. Take a few more and then I'll wrap this up. Like I said, I got my batteries right before I started here. Bought 20 kilowatt hours of batteries. It's like a Nissan Leaf's worth of batteries almost. Looks pretty bad for Snap. That's nothing positive there. It's not even like making higher highs at all. It's still like trending down. That looks pretty horrible. Got earnings coming up, so be careful. Looks like they're gonna lose money. This is like a garbage company that loses a lot of money. Have a Bitcoin, Ethereum, and join my crypto power plays. MSFT. It couldn't break out, but it looks a lot like, this reminds me more of like AMD and Nvidia than it does like Amazon or Apple. So it's kind of held right there. Break back above 260 can lead to this thing to an uptrend. So watch that one for a reversal. GNW. Now that's a nice move right there. Low price stuff does not necessarily work as good with my patterns, but it did break out. It's got a lot of crap to work through. Has longer term support right there. I mean, support resistance right there. So watch for it to bounce off of that. Alrighty. Vert VRT. Looks like garbage. ALKS. Looks like garbage. ZBH. Maybe. Got this little, it's got to get above this crap right here. Now, biotech. If that's a biotech, Looks like it. Biomet Holdings. My stuff doesn't necessarily do well predicting biotech moves. Valero is chopping right above the roadmap line here. Got to break back above this 134 to get higher. And SQ has that same sort of pattern that I'm looking for to break out here. It was potential today, but it's the wrong color candle. Again, several of those candles I've seen today just look like it should be a green candle, right? With that kind of move. But it's red, so it's a bummer. It's got resistance. It built up right up here. It's primed to go. It just can't get there yet. Can't break out yet. So, it's my recommendation on what? I don't recommend anything. Alrighty. Let's see. Did Apple, Amazon, IBM. That's a very nice one right there. Pulled back, holding above there. Let's see. What was the other one today? Can't remember. Home Depot. It pushed higher, made a higher high. Got a retrace almost to the roadmap line. Watch that one to get back to this 310, 308 area. And then it can turn right here. So watch for that. Right in there. And Chewy. I did Chewy. That was we did that one already. That's the possibility. Break up or break down. It's in this watermelon seed squeeze. All right. If you came in late, you want to go watch the replay, go to jeffreytrader.com/YouTube. Let's see, YouTube link right here under my face. Otherwise, maybe if you're watching the replay on YouTube, go check out this video. I might link over there. Might be something you're interested in, and I'll see you again next week for 30 Minutes Awesome Week 2. Let's try and get it this year again, everybody. See you later. Hope we have a great year. Hopefully positive year. I'll see you guys later.